Hey everybody, got a few thoughts for you as we work through today. Yesterday, some of you may have seen a false headline in the New York Times, and the headline was terribly misleading. It said House Republicans are, quote, adjourning until September to avoid a vote on releasing Epstein materials. I just want you to know, and everybody here knows, that's an outright lie. It's not true. And they were forced to modify their headline and update it today. The reason is, we all know that's the initial lie travels much faster than the truth, and so we're making sure that people know what is actually going on here. I think every single one of your publications have known that the published schedule of Congress was decided in December of 2024, and it's been published ever since. We are fulfilling the calendar. We're working. We'll be working tomorrow. There have been votes every day this week. We have 9 or 10 committees working through markups this week, many tomorrow. Congress is doing its work. No one is adjourning early. We have an August district work period that is very important to the function of Congress that has been recognized for all of memory of this institution, and that is what everyone will be doing. The Times was forced to change the headline because it was completely false. No one in Congress is blocking Epstein documents. No one in Congress is doing that. What we're doing here, Republicans are preventing Democrats from making a mockery of the Rules Committee process because we refuse to engage in their political charade. That is what is happening and nothing more. The way Democrats have tried to weaponize this issue is absolutely shameless, and I just want to say this. Democrats said nothing and did nothing, absolutely nothing, about bringing transparency for the entire 4 years of the Biden presidency. But now, all of a sudden, they want the American people to believe that they actually care. Their actions belie their words. We will not be lectured on transparency by the same party that orchestrated one of the most shameless, dangerous political cover-ups in the history of the United States. And that was President Biden's obvious mental decline. House Republicans stand for maximum transparency and truth. We always have and we always will. We're in lockstep with President Trump and his administration on this issue. We are pushing for the release of all credible information to be released with regard to the Epstein matter. I would note also that there are real issues, legal issues, with the CANA resolution, with the Massey resolution. CANA's has no protection whatsoever for the victims of these horrible, unspeakable sex crimes, and Massey's doesn't go far enough. Additionally, the President has directed the Department of Justice to pursue the release of grand jury information, and that is happening as we speak. In fact, the court is processing the DOJ's request for grand jury materials as we are standing here right now. That's a very important step. We'll evaluate any necessary measures that Congress needs to undertake when that process is completed. I'm convinced the administration is thoroughly reviewing all materials and working to release all credible information while also providing protection for victims. And I've been very clear and on the record many times that we have an obligation to do that, a legal obligation and a moral obligation to protect the people who have been the victims of these unspeakable crimes so that their names are not dragged through the mud. That's a fine needle to thread, and I'm convinced that the people who are in charge with this are doing it the right way, judiciously. The Trump administration is working through the court to unseal those documents. Most of the Epstein files are under court order and sealed, so you have to go through that route to do it. All that credible information needs to come out, but they deserve the space to do that in the way that it is supposed to be done, and they are. A thorough, judicious, meticulous review to truly protect innocent people who suffered. In the meantime, on a much brighter note, the House Republicans are looking forward to going back to their districts. They have a lot to be proud of and a lot of good news to share back home. It's just 6 months of this administration and this Congress. We work closely with President Trump. We've delivered on the mandate from the American people. We have the safest border now in the history of the country. Inflation is cooling. We passed one of the most consequential pieces of legislation in the history of this institution, the One Big Beautiful Bill. And what that did, as you know, was it secured the largest tax cut for American workers, the largest single investment in border security and national defense in generations, the largest reduction in spending in the history of any government on planet Earth, and much more. President Trump is making historic trade deals to balance the playing field and bring trillions of dollars of investment into America. As a side note, I will tell you, I was in the Oval Office last night for the historic moment where he made the trade deal with Japan. It was really something to see. I'll write a book about it one day. The Art of the Deal. It was a masterclass. We passed over 250 bills. We voted to codify 50 of President Trump's executive actions, and we're just getting started. He has signed into law so far important legislation like the Lake and Riley Act, the Halt Fentanyl Act, the Take It Down Act, the Genius Act, and of course the $9 billion rescissions package. In just 6 months, President Trump and House Republicans have made safer, stronger, and more prosperous America. We have worked to do that, fulfilling our campaign promises, and there's much more to come. And during the district work period, we'll be crisscrossing our districts and sharing with constituents the impact of all that hard work here on Capitol Hill. So I'll just conclude this and take a couple questions by saying, as we break apart here now to go home for the district work period, there's a lot to share with our constituents, a lot to share, a lot of good news, and we're looking forward to everyone feeling the positive effects of the work that's been done here so far.
Mr. Speaker, based on what...
Can I just ask you, do you feel like your Republican conference has gotten anything on this Epstein issue? You saw yesterday Comer announcing that he's going to be a subpoena for Ghislaine Maxwell. Do you support the House Oversight Committee's work, and do you support the work of your members who do want more transparency?
Well, of course. Look, there is no daylight between members of the House Republican Conference, or for that matter, between us and the White House. I fully support my committee chairs. Jamie Comer is a trusted friend. He's an excellent chairman of the Oversight Committee, and he has a duty and responsibility to follow the truth where it leads. And so every single one of us are for maximum transparency, and we'll use every power that we have to ensure that that's done. If they see fit to bring in Ghislaine Maxwell for testimony, that's fine. I will note the obvious concern, the caveat that Chairman Comer and I and everyone has, that could she be counted on to tell the truth? Is she a credible witness? I mean, this is a person who's been sentenced to many, many years in prison for terrible, unspeakable conspiratorial acts and acts against innocent young people. I mean, can we trust what she's going to say? Even if she raises her hand and says that she'll testify under oath, is that something that can be trusted? You know, that's a reasonable question. Is that credible evidence? I don't know. But we'll have to see. We have to, uncover everything that we can and let the American people evaluate.
Is there concern? I mean, obviously, we've seen the conservatives shut down the House floor routinely. You saw that you had to pull the rule because of fear of Epstein votes.
No, we don't have any fear. No, hold on. No, Reese, no. There's no fear here. No, there's no fear. There's no fear. We're not going to allow the Democrats to use this as a political cudgel. Remember, they had 4 years. Hold on. The Biden administration held the Epstein files for 4 years. Not a single one of these Democrats or anyone in Congress made any peep about that at all. They could have brought a discharge petition at any point in the last 4 years. They chose not to. They waited until President Trump was elected. I think that's very suspect. And I will not allow the House to be drug into political gamesmanship. Not going to do it.
Based on the promises that Republicans made to voters over Jeffrey Epstein, why not more of a sense of urgency? Why not just hold the vote today?
There's no point in having a vote today because the administration is already doing everything within their power to release them. They've gone to the grand jury. They've requested the courts to unseal the documents so that they can be released. The president himself has said all credible evidence should be put out to the American people while protecting the innocent. That's where we stand as well. There's no point in passing a resolution to urge the administration to do something that they are already doing. And so that's why we're going to let that process play out. This is not out of fear in any way. What we're trying to do is maximize transparency and stand for the truth. We want, wait, let me say this, very important. We want every single person who was involved in any way in the Epstein evils to be brought to swift justice. We want the full weight of the law to fall upon their head. And I will do everything within my power to make sure that is possible. That process is underway right now, and we'll see how it plays out.
Are you using the phrase that there's no daylight between you and the White House?
Yeah.
Don't you have a responsibility to build some daylight between you and the White House? You are a leader of a co-equal branch of government. Isn't part of what your members are concerned about is that there needs to be a second set of eyes?
I'm the leader of the most important branch of government. In my view, it is Article 1. And if I see that Article 1 and our authority is being breached in any way, I'll act upon it. I'm a jealous guardian of our responsibility here, our constitutional authority, and that most important branch of government, and a government of, by, and for the people. But I will tell you this right now. When I say there's no daylight between me and the president, we talk about this privately. He's spoken about it publicly. I have as well. He's trying to achieve the same exact objective that we are, that every member of the House Republican Conference wants to achieve, and that is to let the American people decide. This information should have come out a long time ago. I've been an advocate of that. We all have. But that process is underway right now. Now, we've got to jealously guard that and protect it and make sure it's happening. And if it doesn't, then we'll take appropriate action when everybody returns here. But we have to allow the court process to play out. That's how it works. I used to be a litigator. There is a standard here, a legal standard that everybody cannot forget. The courts, law enforcement, and government agencies have to protect the innocent. And the way you do that is you are very careful not to release names of victims or release it in a haphazard manner so that their names could be unmasked in some way, because it would destroy their lives. And and anybody who's been swept up into that. So that's what the Justice Department is doing. I think they're doing a deliberate job right now, and our job as the Article I branch is to allow the executive to do that. If it doesn't come to fruition, then we will act, but we have to allow that time to process. Thank you.
President